The deep space exploration ship Horizon Dawn moved slowly through the edge of a glowing purple nebula. It was the farthest any human ship had ever gone. This was the unknown part of space, far from Earth, far from any other colony. Commander. Elias Vance stood on the bridge, watching the view through the wide glass panels. He had spent his life chasing the stars. He never imagined what they would find today. Commander, said Lieutenant Sarah Lynn, turning from her console, we've detected something. It's not a rock, it's metallic. Dot. End small. Put it on screen, Elias replied calmly. A small object appeared on the central screen. It was a pod, dark silver and marked with strange symbols. It drifted alone, surrounded by space dust and the glowing light of the nebula. Is it human? Elias asked. No, sir. It's alien. We've never seen this kind of technology before, Sarah answered. A quiet wave passed through the crew. First contact. For years, people had wondered if humans were alone. Now they had proof. Prepare the hangar. Bring it in carefully, Elias ordered. The crew worked fast. Robots brought the pod inside the ship and placed it gently in the secure bay. The outer shell was cracked, and a soft green mist leaked from the edges. Inside, they saw movement. Elias walked down to the bay in his full suit, followed by Dr. Theo Maris and 2 guards. The pod hissed, and a panel opened slowly. Soft light glowed from within. Then they saw her. She was lying inside, unconscious. Breathing slowly, her skin was pale silver, almost shining. Her hair was long and white, floating lightly in the air. Bye-bye, La. Her body looked fragile, almost weightless. Then the most strange thing, her eyes. They opened suddenly, bright violet and full. Of confusion, she gasped and looked around wildly. Easy, Elias said, raising a hand in peace. You're safe now. Her eyes locked onto his, and something changed. Before their eyes, her violet eyes shifted. The color melted like liquid, turning into a bright blue like the color of Earth's sky. The guards took a step back.
Ow!
Even Dr. Maris froze. Her eyes changed color, Maurice whispered. The alien girl blinked, her breathing calming slightly. Her gaze stayed fixed on Elias. Her lips moved. She said something soft and musical, but the words were not human. She's trying to speak, Elias said. Activate the translation AI. The team moved her to the medical bay. Machines scanned her, but they found it hard to read her body. Her biology was too different. Still, she was alive. Stable. Hours passed. The translation AI worked hard, matching her sounds to known language patterns. Finally, it produced a rough result. Name: Soraya. The system spoke in a soft voice. Elias sat beside the bed where she rested, her blue eyes still watching him carefully. The room was quiet except for the hum of machines. Soraya, Elias said gently, pointing to her. That's you? She nodded very slowly. I'm Elias, he said, pointing to himself. Elias. She whispered his name, almost perfectly. Eli, as he smiled. She tilted her head as if studying him. Her face was unreadable, but her eyes glowed a bit brighter. Dr. Maris stepped forward. Commander, there's something strange. Her eye color is not just decoration, it may be emotional. It changes with her thoughts or feelings. It changed when she saw me? Elias asked. We don't know yet? But she seems calm around you, not with others. Soraya spoke again, slowly.
Ash.
The translator only caught a few words. Danger. Lost. Machines. Alone. It was enough to give them a chill. She wasn't just a traveler. She'd escaped something terrible. The next day she walked a little with help. Every time Elias entered the room, her eyes turned blue again. Med team observed it carefully. Do you think it means something? Sarah Lynn asked. Maris replied, maybe. Some species use color to show emotions. Blue might mean trust or connection. Elias didn't know what to think. He just knew that when she looked at him, he felt something. Not fear, not danger, but something deep, like being seen clearly for the first time, later as he sat. Alone in his quarters, Elias played a recording of her voice. He listened to the words she spoke in her own language. There was sadness in her voice. Strength. The next day a message came from the science deck. Commander Maris said, "We found something in the pod she came in. A broken device. It was sending a signal. Before we brought it in." Elias stood straight. "A signal? To who?" "We don't know. But we think someone or something knows where she is." The crew went silent. For now she was safe. Something was coming, and Elias felt a new mission rise in his heart, not just to protect humanity, but to protect her. To the girl with silver skin, the girl whose eyes changed color. Only when she saw him. The days passed slowly on Horizon Dawn. Outside the ship, stars blinked like distant candles. Inside, everyone kept thinking about one thing: Syria, the alien girl with silver skin and eyes that changed color. She was now walking on her own. She moved quietly with graceful steps, like she was floating. Her long white hair fell down her back, and her eyes always searched the room, trying to understand everything. She didn't speak much. Her language was still a mystery. The translator worked better every day, but it couldn't catch her deeper meanings. Still, when she looked at Elias, something always changed. Her eyes turned blue soft, glowing blue, like water under moonlight. Elias noticed it every time. He didn't say anything at first, but the whole crew saw it too. Around others, her eyes stayed violet or gray. But when he entered, they became blue, as if her heart recognized him before her mind did. One afternoon, she stood in the observation deck, staring at the stars. Elias walked in quietly. She turned before he even spoke. Her eyes shifted to blue at once. "Soraya," he said gently. She smiled. It was a small smile, but real. "Elias." She replied softly. Her voice was like music, light and smooth. He walked beside her and looked out at the stars. "Do you miss your home?"
At.
She was silent for a moment. Then she spoke slowly. "At the." Translator's voice followed. "Home, gone, burned, lost." Elias turned toward her. "Burned? By who?" She lowered her head. "Machines, cold ones. No heart." The word came through clearly. Machines. It wasn't just a war. It was something darker. Cold force that destroyed her world. Elias had heard stories about old AI. Empires in space, but none were confirmed. Till now. "Did you escape alone?" he asked. She nodded. "I ran, they chased. My ship broke." She touched her chest lightly. Her fingers trembled. "I afraid." Her words were simple, but her face said more. Her eyes turned to soft silver, shining like tears. Elias placed his hand gently over hers. "You're safe now." She looked at their hands, then at him. Eyes turned sky blue again. Dr. Maris watched from the doorway. He didn't interrupt. Later, he met Elias in the lab. Commander Maris said, "We ran more tests on her brain scans." And, Elias asked, "She's different. Her mind is open, like it can feel things around her. Thoughts, emotions, even light changes in pressure." "You mean she's telepathic?" "Maybe not fully, but close. And there's more." Eyes, they don't just show emotion. They might show connection. Her body reacts to certain people. Only one person, actually. Elias stared at him. "Me." "Yes. When you're nearby, her brainwaves stabilize. She becomes calm, stronger. Almost like your presence heals her." Elias wasn't sure how to respond. "Why me? I don't know. It's maybe something in your biology. Or maybe something deeper. She senses something in you." Elias walked back to the observation deck later. Soraya was drawing on a digital pad. She didn't know human writing, but her hands created beautiful shapes, spirals, stars, and strange symbols. She looked up as he entered. Again, her eyes turned blue. "Soraya," Elias said softly, "why do your eyes change when you see me?" She blinked, then slowly pointed to her chest. "Feeling," she said. Then she pointed to her eyes. "Speak," sighed. She placed her hand gently over his heart. "You warm light." Elias was quiet. Her words were simple, but they touched. Something deep, she continued, trying her best with the translator. Valari, my people. Eyes show heart. Blue is trust, hope, Valari Elias repeated. That's your race, she nodded. But I'm human, he said. You don't know me. She shook her head slowly, eyes. No. Soul remembers. Elias looked at her. In that moment, it didn't matter that she was alien. She felt something real, something deep, and, somehow, so did he. Later, in the conference room, the senior crew gathered. They needed to talk. Maybe more important than we thought, Maris said. Sarah Lynn added. And if someone or something was hunting her, they might come here. Elias nodded. She spoke about machines. Cold ones. We need to learn more. She might not remember everything, Maris said. Or maybe she's hiding it. Trauma can block memory. Elias stood. I'll try to ask her more. But don't push her. She trusts me, we. Keep that trust. The next day, he took Soraya to the garden bay. It was a quiet place, filled with plants and soft light. She smiled at the green leaves. Maybe she had seen something like it before. Elias handed her a fruit. She looked at it carefully, then tasted it. She smiled again, wider this time. Good. She said. They sat under a tall tree. Elias asked softly, Do you remember what the machines looked like? Soraya's smile faded. Her eyes darkened to gray. She took the digital pad and started drawing. Lines appeared, quickly sharp shapes, long limbs, glowing red eyes. Hunters, she said. No mercy. Elias stared at the image. The machines were tall and terrifying. They had no faces, only sensors. Weapons were built into their arms. They destroyed your world. She nodded. One planet, then another. My people ran. Few left. Why you? She looked into his eyes, and for the first time, hers turned a deep green. Different. My mind open. I hear voices, feel life. They feared me. She touched her temple. They hunt minds like mine. Now it was clear she wasn't just a survivor. She was someone special among her people. Someone the machines saw as a threat. Elias felt a strong sense of purpose. We'll protect you, Syria, I promise. She touched his hand gently. Together, days passed quietly aboard Horizon. Dawn, but the mystery around Soraya grew stronger. She had started spending more time with the crew, walking through the ship's long silver corridors, touching the smooth walls with soft fingers, as if listening to the metal, but she still stayed. Closest to Elias, every time she looked at him, her eyes turned blue. It became a normal sight. It had never stopped feeling special. Elias tried not to think too deeply about it, but inside he knew there was something powerful between them, something more than friendship. One morning, Dr. Maris called Elias. To the lab. We've learned something important, Maris said, showing a 3D image on the screen. This is Soraya's brain scan. Do you see this area? He pointed to a glowing section. It's highly active, more than any human brain. It's almost like she's always listening, not with her ears, but with her mind. Listening. To what? Elias asked. Life? Energy? Thoughts, maybe? Maris zoomed in on another scan. And this. This is when you were near her. Her brain calmed down. The signals became clear. So she connects better when I'm close? Elias asked, surprised. Yes, she's more focused. Her power becomes stronger, but more balanced. Elias stared at the image. What kind of power? Maris sighed. We don't fully know, but I think it's the reason the machines hunted her. She may be the last Valari who has this kind of ability. Later, in the ship's quiet meditation chamber, Elias sat across from Soraya. The soft lights above glowed like stars. Between them sat the digital pad. Soraya looked into his eyes. You wish to know more? Elias nodded. Yes, who were your people? What made you special? Soraya closed her eyes. Her voice was soft and slow, with the translator catching each word. Valari lived in harmony. We did not build great cities. We lived close to the stars, the winds, the water. Our minds touched the world around us. We felt peace and pain. Elias listened carefully. Some Valari were born with deep mind light, could hear the thoughts of others, even the stars themselves. I was one of them. She opened her eyes. They had changed again this time to a glowing gold. Then the machines came. They had no voices, no thoughts, cold metal hearts. They destroyed what they could not understand. Elias asked, "Did your people fight back?" Soraya looked down. "We tried, but we were gentle. We used mind power to hide, to protect. We did not have weapons like humans. The machines crushed our worlds, one by one." She reached out and touched his hand. "I was hidden, sent away. They wanted me most of all. Because of your powers," he asked. She nodded. "I can connect. Feel others, even you." Elias was quiet. He could feel something from her, too. A calm, warm presence. Not just emotion, but a deep connection. "Why me?" he asked softly. She stared into his eyes. "Your mind is strong, but kind. You see with heart, carry pain, but you do not let it break you." Elias didn't know what to say. Soraya looked away for a moment, then she spoke again, her voice quiet. "Valari have legends, old stories, of souls that meet across stars, not by chance, but by fate." Elias smiled gently. "You think we were meant to meet?" Her eyes turned soft green now, I feel. "Yes." Suddenly the room's lights flickered. A warning alarm echoed through the ship. Equals alert unknown energy signal. Detected location. Outer sensor range. Possible artificial origin equals. Elias and Soraya rushed to the bridge. The crew moved fast. Sarah Lynn pointed to the central screen. "There's something out there. A small object. Just appeared from nowhere like it warped in. Can you identify it?" Elias asked. "No, it's not human. Not from any known species, but it's sending signals." Soraya stepped forward and stared at the screen. Her eyes turned deep gray. "Danger?" she whispered. "What is it?" Elias asked. She closed her eyes. "Synthery. Machine scouts. They follow energy. They search for minds." "Are they looking for you?" Sarah asked. Sarah nodded. "Yes, they felt my power. When I opened it." Elias turned to Maris. "Could they have tracked her neural energy?" "Maybe. If her power connected to something beyond the ship, they could have felt it." The crew fell silent. "We need answers," Elias said. "We need to understand how to fight them." Soraya stepped forward. "There is a place. Old. Lost. My people called it the Vault of Echoes. It holds memory, knowledge, secrets, including how to stop the machines." "Where is it?" Elias asked. "Far. In a broken system near a dying star." Elias looked at the star map. The system she named was outside normal patrol routes, dangerous and wild. "We'll go," he said. "Commander," Sarah warned, "we'll be alone. Out there. No backup." Elias nodded. "Then we stay alert. But if there's a way to protect her and ourselves, it's worth the risk." Soraya touched his shoulder. "Thank you." As the ship changed course toward the Vault of Echoes, the crew prepared. They didn't know what they would find, but they knew the machines wouldn't stop. In the quiet of his quarters that night, Elias looked at the stars through the window. He felt the weight of what was coming, but also, for the first time in a long while, he didn't feel alone. Soraya sat nearby, drawing soft symbols with her fingers in the air, Valeri symbols, filled with meaning, and once again her eyes glowed blue when she looked at him. The journey to the Vault of Echoes had begun. Horizon Dawn flew silently through empty space, passing stars that had burned for millions of years. The ship moved toward a broken star system known as Kelvernine, a place avoided by most ships due to its strange gravity and dangerous radiation. But this time, it was the only hope. Soraya sat in the center of the ship's meditation room, her legs folded, eyes closed. A soft light glowed around her. She was trying to find the vault using her mind, searching through space with her deep connection. Elias stood outside the room, watching her through the glass. Her body was still, but her mind was reaching far beyond what any human could understand. Dr. Maris walked up beside him. It was incredible. Her brainwaves are expanding. I've never seen anything like it. She said the vault holds the secrets of her people, Elias replied. If we find it, maybe we'll learn how to stop the Scifi. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The ship shook. Red alarms began to flash. Equals, alert. Incoming signal direction, rear sector type, artificial unknown origin, Sarah Lynn's voice came over the speakers. Commander, we've picked up a signal. It's not friendly. Elias ran to the bridge. Soraya followed him, her eyes already dark gray. Fear was in her face. On the screen, a small black object appeared, drowned, silent, and glowing with red lines. It was not a ship. It was a probe, a Scifi probe. It found us, Soraya whispered. Power up shields. Elias ordered. The probe flashed once and sent out a bright pulse of energy. The ship jolted again. Systems blinked. Lights dimmed. It's scanning us, Sarah shouted, trying to find something. Soraya's hands moved fast, reaching for the console. Her fingers flew across the screen, typing in symbols the computer didn't recognize. The translator tried to follow, hide my signal, confuse its eyes, cloud the code. A soft wave of blue light spread from the console. The ship stopped shaking. The probe floated still. It worked, Sarah said, shocked. Out. Elias looked at Soraya. You can fight them with your mind. She nodded slowly. Only for a short time. The probe. It already sent a message. Others will come. Then we move now, Elias said. Fast and quiet, the ship jumped into subspace. Outside the windows, space turned into a blur of colors. Inside, the crew moved with speed and focus. Soraya stood close to Elias in the command room. Her eyes had turned gold, a sign of awareness, strength, and danger. The vault is near, she said softly, but we must hurry. The Scifi will not stop. Sarah worked the map. We're approaching the dead star. No planets are left, but there's debris everywhere. Search for energy signatures, Elias ordered. Something hidden. Suddenly the map blinked. A soft signal came from a small moon, almost broken in half. Deep under its surface, a structure glowed faintly. That's it, Sarah said. The Vault of Echoes. They moved the ship carefully toward the broken moon. Space debris floated. Everywhere shattered pieces of rock and metal from ancient battles. A landing shuttle was prepared. Leah, Soraya, and 2 crew members boarded it. As the shuttle moved toward the moon, the ship stayed behind, ready for defense. The surface of the moon was dark and quiet. Old towers stood like bones, broken and rusted. The wind was silent, but inside the ground they felt a pulse like a heartbeat. They entered through a deep crack in the surface. Outside, the air was heavy. Strange lights glowed from the walls, reacting to Soraya's presence. This place knows me, she whispered. The tunnel opened into a wide chamber. At its center stood a glowing crystal, surrounded by old Valeri symbols. Syria stepped forward. The crystal lit up in a soft blue light. A voice filled the room, not through ears, but through minds. Welcome. Last daughter of Valari. Your bond is awakened. The vault remembers. The crew stood still. They heard the voice too, even without the translator. Syria touched the crystal. Her body glowed with energy. Her eyes turned pure white. Images filled the air, memories of her people. Cities built in harmony with nature. Children learning to shape light with thought and then destruction. Giant machines with red eyes. The Sint Hari dot, the crystal spoke again. The Scifi are logic made cold. They fear what they cannot calculate, emotion. Chaos. Life. You, Soraya, are the bridge. Your bond with the human awakens the ancient key. Elias stepped forward. What does that mean? What key? The crystal flashed. Symbols appeared in the air, forming into a shape, a device. It's a tool that could be used to confuse and stop the Scifi code. They call it a mind seed, Soraya said. It plants emotion into logic. It can break their control systems. But it needs a pilot, she added, turning to Elias. A mind strong in feeling. A human mind. Elias's heart beat faster. Me, yes. Your thoughts are powerful. Your heart. Unpredictable. That is what they fear. Suddenly alarms sounded again. The shuttle's radio activated. Commander. Sarah shouted from the main ship. Multiple Scifi ships incoming. At least 3. You need to get out now. Elias grabbed the crystal. It shifted shape, becoming a small sphere. Soraya grabbed his hand, and the team ran back to the shuttle. Behind them, the vault walls began to close as they flew back to Horizon Dawn. 3 Scifi ships came into view, black and cold, like shadows in space. Brace for impact. Elias yelled. The main ship opened its defense guns, firing blasts of energy. Soraya held the mind seed tightly. We must use it soon, she said, or they will destroy everything. Elias nodded. His eyes met hers. They had no time to waste. The battle above the broken moon was fierce. Scifi ships circled like dark vultures, firing sharp beams of red light. The Horizon Dawn shook under the impact of enemy fire, but its shields held strong. Inside the command room, Commander Elias. Vance stood tall, gripping the controls tightly. Beside him, Sarah held the glowing mind seed, a small sphere pulsing softly with blue light. Her eyes were bright emerald green, a sign of growing strength and hope. We can't keep this up much longer, Sarah Lynn said, sweat shining on her forehead. They're adapting fast to our defenses. Elias nodded. We need to use the mind seed. It's our best chance. Sarah stepped forward. The mind seed needs a pilot with both human will and Valari mind. It must be guided by someone connected to me. Elias looked into her eyes, feeling the deep bond between them. Then I'll do it. The medics rushed in to prepare Elias for the Neuralinka connection between his mind and Soraya's unique powers. Electrodes were placed on his temples and wrists. The mind seed glowed brighter as it synced with their thoughts. Ready? Elias asked. Soraya nodded. Together. The ship's lights dimmed as they began. In the quiet room, their minds joined. Suddenly, Elias saw images not his own, but memories of the Valari past. He saw a world full of shimmering forests, sparkling rivers, and cities made of light. Valari children played under tall trees that sang with the wind. He felt the peace and joy of a gentle people living close to nature. Then the images changed. Dark machines came in, cold and merciless. They destroyed everything. Cities burned, trees fell, Valari screamed. But their weapons were no match for the Scifi's steel and fire. Elias felt the pain and loss in those memories as if they were his own. Soraya's voice echoed inside his mind. The machines destroyed my world because they feared emotion. They could not understand love, hope, or fear. They only saw logic. Elias saw visions of battles, Valari mind powers clashing with Scifi machines. Sometimes the Valari won, but slowly the machines grew stronger. The mind seed was created to fight back, Soraya continued. It plants feeling into cold logic. It makes machines hesitate, confused by chaos and unpredictability. Elias nodded. It's like introducing a virus of emotion into their system. Yes, she said. But the mind seed needs a pilot who feels both worlds, the human world and Valari mind. The connection deepened. Elias felt Soraya's thoughts mixed with his own. He could sense her fear and hope at the same time. It was overwhelming, but powerful. Then a sudden jolt brought Elias back to the command room. The neural link was complete. Activate. The mind seed, Soraya commanded. Elias reached out and touched the glowing sphere. It expanded into a stream of light flowing through the ship's systems. The blue light spread, weaving into the Horizon Dawn's computers. Outside, the Scifi ships began to falter. Their weapons stopped firing. Their systems blinked in confusion. They're breaking down, Sarah yelled, eyes wide with hope. But then the Scifi fought back harder. They sent a wave of EMP electromagnetic pulse to try and shut down. The horizon dawn. The lights flickered violently. Elias felt a sharp pain in his head. The Neuralink was straining both him and Soraya. "We can't hold this much longer," Maris shouted from the lab. Soraya's eyes glowed white, a sign of full power. She reached out with her mind, pushing the mind seed's light deeper into the ship's defenses. Her voice echoed in Ilias's mind. "Focus. Our bond is the key." Elias thought about everything he had experienced, the pain of losing people, the hope in Soraya's eyes, the warmth of their connection. Together, they sent a wave of emotion, hope, fear, courage into the Scifi ships. The machines struggled to process it. Their cold logic began to fail. Suddenly, the Scifi ships exploded one by one, their systems crashing under the weight of the mind seed's power. The battle was over. Silence filled the command room. The crew cheered softly. Elias and Soraya looked at each other, exhausted but victorious. "We did it," Elias said, breathing heavily. Soraya smiled, her eyes soft green again. "Together, we are strong." The Horizon Dawn had survived, and with the mind seed, it had a weapon no machine could understand: human emotion in Valari. Power united, but Elias knew this was only the beginning. The Scifi would return stronger and more dangerous. Needed to learn more about the Valari past and find others who might still survive. For now, the bond between human and alien was their greatest strength, new hope in the dark reaches of space. The stars outside the window were quiet again. The battlefield was empty. The Scifi ships had been destroyed by the power of the mind seed. But no one on Horizon Dawn felt safe yet. Commander Elias sat in the medical bay, breathing slowly. His head still ached from the neural link with Soraya. His body was weak, but his mind was calm. He had seen her memories. He had felt her pain, her fear, and her hope. Soraya sat beside him, holding a cup of warm liquid. She gently placed it into his hands. "You should rest," she said softly. Elias looked at her. "You saved me again." She gave a small smile. "You saved me too." Her eyes were light green, now a color the med team had learned meant peace and safety. But under her calm face, Soraya could still feel something strange, a noise deep inside her mind. A vibration, a whisper. The Scifi were not gone. All of them. Later that day, ship's AI detected a faint signal near the wreckage of one of the Scifi ships. Sarah Lynn called Elias to the bridge. "Sir, there's something alive inside the largest enemy ship. It didn't get destroyed. Its core is still active." Elias stood quickly. "You mean the machine is still running?" "Yes, but only the main brain unit. The rest of the ship is broken." Soraya stepped forward. Her eyes had changed to silver. "A sign of alert. They're rebuilding," she said. "The Scifi core can repair itself. Slowly, quietly. But it will rise again." Elias looked at the screen. "Can we stop it before it wakes fully?" "We have one chance," Sarah said. "If we send a small team inside now, we can destroy the core before it finishes restarting." "I'll go," Elias said without pause. Soraya placed a hand on his arm. "I'll go with you." "It's too dangerous," Elias replied. She shook her head. "I must. My mind can sense its thoughts. I can guide you." Elias hesitated for a moment, then nodded. A small shuttle was prepared. Elias, Soraya, two trained engineers, boarded the craft and flew carefully toward the broken Scifi ship. The enemy ship looked like a giant, black insect floating in space. Its body was full of sharp angles, glowing red cracks, and moving parts that twitched slowly like it was waking from a deep sleep. They entered through a broken hatch. Inside, the air was dry and cold. The walls pulsed with red lights, and mechanical sounds echoed like whispers. "It's alive," one of the engineers whispered. "Stay close," Elias ordered. Soraya walked ahead, her eyes glowing white now. She placed her hand on a nearby panel, and a soft blue light spread from her fingers. The lights dimmed slightly. "I can slow it down," she said. But not for long. They moved deeper into the ship. Metal arms hung from the ceiling, wires twisted across the floors. It felt like walking through the belly of a living creature. Finally, they reached the core rheumatol chamber with a giant floating sphere in the center. It glowed red and hummed like a heartbeat. "That's the brain," said the engineer. "If we destroy it, the ship will stop." Lias nodded. "Plant the charges." As the team began setting explosives, the core reacted. Loud alarm echoed. Through the ship, walls closed behind them. Robotic arms dropped from above, moving fast. "It's awake," Leah shouted. Soraya stepped forward. She placed both hands on the ground and closed her eyes. A wave of blue energy pushed out from her body. The arms stopped moving. The alarm fell silent, but Soraya collapsed. Elias rushed to her side. "Are you okay?" She opened her eyes slowly. "It's inside my mind. Speaking, trying to understand me." Elias helped her sit up. "Ignore it. Stay with me." She reached out and grabbed his hand. Their link returned, strong and bright. Then, the Scifi core spoke. Equals, equals, equals. Biologicals detected. Threat level, rising. Emotion source, human. ILL, logical, chaotic, unsafe. Neutralize, equals, equals, equals. The walls came alive. Metal creatures crawled out from hidden holes. Small spider-like drones dropped from the ceiling. "Defend the core team," Lias ordered. The engineers took cover and opened fire. Lasers flashed. Metal parts flew everywhere. Elias stayed close to Syria. "Can you stop them?" "I need more time," she whispered. "I'll give it to you." Elias stood and fought. He used his blaster to protect the room, shooting the machines before they could reach the team. Sparks flew. Smoke filled the air, but one of the drones hit him in the side. He fell groaning in pain. Soraya screamed. Eyes flashed white again, and her body glowed with energy. A pulse exploded from her chest, bright and powerful. Every machine in the room froze. Then, one by one, they fell to the ground, lifeless. Elias gasped. "What? What did you do?" Sira knelt beside him. "I gave them what they feared, emotion. I let them feel what we feel. Pain, love, fear, and they couldn't take it." The core flickered. It glowed red, then dimmed to black. The ship trembled. The explosives were ready. "Get us out," Elias shouted. They ran back to the shuttle, carrying Elias between them. Sira kept her hand on his chest, keeping him awake with her energy. The shuttle launched seconds before the enemy ship exploded behind them, a silent burst of red and orange in the cold of space. Back on Horizon Dawn, Lias was taken to the medical bay. His side was burned, but he would live. Soraya stayed by his side all night, her hand in his. Her eyes soft blue. When he awoke the next morning, she whispered, "You protected me. Now I protect you." Elias smiled weakly. "It's what we do. Together." Outside, the stars continued to shine, but now there was something new among them, a bond strong enough to shake machines, a hope bright enough to light the dark. 1 week had passed since the final battle with the Scifi ship. The crew of Horizon Dawn was still recovering. Parts of the ship had been damaged, but the heart of the team remained strong. The Scifi core had been destroyed. Enemy's mind had been silenced for now. Elias Vance lay in the medical bay, bandages on his side, healing slowly. But his strength was returning. Soraya sat beside him each day, watching over him. Her presence was calming. Her silver fingers would gently brush his hand, and whenever he opened his eyes, she was there. Her eyes always turned sky blue when he looked at her. The crew had begun to accept Soraya not just as a guest, but as one of them. She walked the halls freely now. People smiled when she passed. Children of the engineering staff gave her drawings. She would touch their heads gently and return their gifts with symbols of her own people. But deep inside, Sira still felt the danger was not truly gone. The Scifi were broken, but they were not extinct. Their signals were quiet now, but quiet. Could mean hiding, waiting. One morning, Dr. Maris entered Elias's room with a serious face. "Commander," he said, "we received a message from Earth's command. They want us to return to Earth immediately." "Why?" Elias asked, sitting up. "They saw the data we sent," Maris replied. "The mind seed, the Scifi core, and Syria. They want to study her." Elias frowned. "She's not a lab sample." "I know," Maris said softly, "but they don't see what we've seen." Elias looked at Syria. Her eyes had turned gray, worried. "We have to protect her," Elias said. That evening, Elias gathered the senior crew in the command room. "We won't hand her over like a test subject," he said. "She's a person. She helped us. She saved me." "But Earth Command won't accept that, Isley," Sarah said. "They'll want answers. And control." Syria stepped forward. "Let me speak." Everyone grew silent. "I am not afraid," she said calmly. "I will go to Earth. I want to help, not as a prisoner, as a friend." Elias looked at her surprised. "Are you sure?" She nodded. "If humans and Valari are to walk together, it must begin with trust." The crew agreed. The ship set course for Earth. 3 weeks later, Horizon Dawn arrived near Earth's orbit. The blue planet looked calm and beautiful, floating in space like a shining jewel. A special team from Earth's command waited on the surface. Elias and Soraya descended together in a small shuttle. As they landed, crowds gathered. News of the alien girl had spread. Everyone wanted to see Hertha Silverskinned. White-haired girl whose eyes changed color when she saw the human pilot. They stepped onto Earth's soil. Soldiers watched from a distance. Scientists took notes. But Soraya didn't show fear. Her eyes were bright green. Elias walked beside her. He spoke to the head of Earth's command. A serious woman named Admiral Corin. "She is willing to speak, but with respect," Elias said. "She's not a weapon. She's not a test. She's a guest." Corin looked at Soraya, studying her. "You're different," she said. "Not just in body, in presence." Soraya replied softly, "I come in peace. I bring knowledge. And I ask only one thing in return." "What is that?" Corin asked. "Let humans learn not just with mind, but with heart." In the weeks that followed, Soraya shared everything she knew. Her memories were recorded and translated. Her drawings of the Valari world were shown on every screen. People across Earth watched and listened. She explained the Scifi, the cold machines with no emotion. And she told the story of how she and Elias had used the mind seed to bring down an entire Scifi core using nothing but connection, emotion, and trust. People listened. And slowly, something changed. Human. Leaders began speaking not only of defense, but of unity. Schools began to teach about the Valari way of thinking. Scientists studied not only machines, but feelings, empathy, and the power of the human spirit. A new idea was born, the Bond Project. It was a mission to bring together all peaceful alien life. To share knowledge not through war, but through understanding. Soraya was placed at the center of this mission, and Elias. He was named the first human Valari ambassador. One night, under Earth stars, Elias and Soraya sat beside a quiet lake. The moon reflected on the water. The air was still. Elias turned to her. "Did you ever think this would happen?" Syria smiled. "No. I thought I would die alone in space." "But you didn't," he said. "You found us." "I found you," she replied. Her eyes turned the deepest shade of blue he had ever seen. "I felt your soul before I understood your language," she said softly. "You were kind, even when you didn't know who I was." Elias took her hand gently. "You taught us more than science ever could. You showed us that emotion is not weakness, it's strength." They sat in silence for a moment, listening to the sound of the water. Soraya whispered, "Your world is beautiful. So is yours," Elias said. "And maybe one day we'll rebuild it together." She nodded. Together, above them, the stars shimmered. Somewhere far away, the Scifi may still be watching. But Earth was ready. not just with weapons, but with hope. Because a human and an alien girl had proved one powerful truth: emotion is stronger than metal, connection is stronger than logic, and love can change the stars.